At 63, I yipped. It was thick and sealed the gap. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Get your mind out of the gutter, sugar. Stick with me, because this ain't the story you're expecting, but by the time I'm done you'll be grinning like a possum in a persimmon tree. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button right now, because this Montana widow's tale is gonna warm your heart faster than a fresh huckleberry pie straight out of the oven. Let me introduce myself proper-like. Name's Suna McAllister, but everybody from here to the Bitterroot calls me Sunny. Mostly 'cause I smile easy and partly 'cause my late husband, Ray, swore I lit up a room brighter than the sun coming over the Mission Mountains. Been a widow 8 years come March, ever since Ray's ticker gave out while he was fixing the carburetor on his old Ford pickup. 1 minute, he was cussing the thing like a sailor. The next, he was gone. Just like that. We had 39 years, 2 kids, Travis and Jolene, and 5 grandbabies who think grandma's house smells like cinnamon and old country music. I still live in the same little cedar-shingled ranch house on the edge of Missoula where Ray and I raised our family. These days the neighborhood's half hippies with man buns brewing kombucha and half old ranchers who still tip their hats when they say man. My routine's simpler than a 3-chord hymn. Up at 5, coffee strong enough to float a horseshoe, bake a pie or 2 for the farmer's market on Saturdays, maybe weed the rhubarb patch if my knees ain't fussing. Evenings I sit on the porch swing with a glass of iced tea and whatever library book Jolene's dropped off. Usually some cozy mystery where the baker solves crimes between batches of scones. I still wear the same apron Ray gave me for our 20th anniversary, faded cherries on a cream background, and I still dab a little white shoulders behind each ear every morning. Old habits die harder than a Montana winter. Most days the only folks who see me are the UPS guy, the magpies stealing my birdseed, and Mrs. Lindstrom across the street who's been timing my mail delivery since 1987. Now, my front storm door's been a hot mess since the Halloween windstorm of 22. The bottom panel got cracked when a tumbleweed the size of a Volkswagen slammed into it, and every time the north wind kicks up, that door whistles like a tea kettle with a grudge. Travis kept promising to fix it, but he's busy wrangling twins and a toddler, and Jolene's got her hands full teaching 3rd grade. So last month I finally broke down and ordered a fancy new storm door from the big orange home store in town. Self-install kit, the website bragged. Yeah, right. Tuesday morning the box showed up, 6 feet of cardboard taller than me and heavier than my KitchenAid mixer. The delivery kid left it leaning against the porch like a drunk cowboy. I stared at that monster and thought, Sonny, you're fixin' to regret this. Wednesday at 9:17 a.m. sharp, I know because I was timing the cinnamon rolls, a dusty silver Tacoma pulled into my driveway. Out stepped the installer, tall, broad-shouldered, wearing Carhartt pants and a smoke jumper t-shirt stretched across muscles that looked like they wrestled grizzlies for fun. Sunglasses, ball cap pulled low, and a tool belt that clanked like wind chimes. I opened the busted door, trying to look like I wasn't rattled. You the door guy? He pushed his shades up into dark hair that curled at the collar. Yes, ma'am. Caleb Whitaker, Missoula Hotshots off-season crew. You must be Mrs. McAllister. Suna, I corrected, surprising myself. Or Sunny, if you're not too formal. That earned me a crooked grin that could melt snow in January. Sunny it is. He hauled the new door out of the box like it was a bag of marshmallows, muscles flexing under sun-brown skin. I pretended to check my phone, so I wouldn't stare. Lord, the man was 31 if he was a day, half my age, and then some. Mind if I get started? He asked, wiping sawdust off his hands. Weather's supposed to turn this afternoon. Want you sealed up tight before the rain hits. Knock yourself out, sugar. I held the screen door open. Coffee's fresh if you need a cup. He hesitated. Black. Like my soul before caffeine, I said, and he laughed deep, easy, the kind that makes your stomach do a little two-step. I left him to it and went back to rolling pie crust, but every clink of his drill floated through the open window like a siren song. By the time the cinnamon rolls came out, he was wrestling the old door off its hinges. Need a hand? I called, wiping flour on my apron. I got it, but you could hold this level steady if you've got a minute. I stepped onto the porch, barefoot, because that's how we do in Montana. The October air smelled like pine and wood smoke. Caleb knelt beside the doorframe, tape measure in his teeth, and I held the bubble level while he marked the screw holes. His fingers brushed mine, calloused, warm, steady. I felt a zap clear to my elbow. "Perfect," he said, voice low. "Just like that." I swear the man could read the phone book and make it sound sexy. He worked fast but careful, like he respected every nail. When he peeled the backing off the weather stripping, that's when it happened. "Hand me that roll, would you?" he asked. I passed it over. The strip was thick, black, sticky as sin. He pressed it into the gap along the jamb, smoothing it down with the heel of his hand. "Thick one today," he muttered. "Gotta seal every inch or the wind'll howl right through." I watched him work it in, slow and deliberate. The strip filled the space snug. No gaps, no drafts. Click. It locked into place with a satisfying snap. I yipped. Couldn't help it. 8 years since anything locked into any place on this porch, and here was this smoke jumper making my storm door airtight. Caleb looked up, startled, then grinned. "Scare you?" "Startled me is all," I said, fanning my face with the oven mitt I'd forgotten I was holding. That thing went in smoother than butter on a biscuit. He laughed again, and I swear the magpies in the cottonwoods stopped gossiping to listen. By noon the new door hung perfect. Glass, so clean I could see my own reflection waving back like a fool. Caleb tested the handle, the latch, the pneumatic closer. "Solid," he declared. "You're good for another 20 winters." I handed him a cinnamon roll on a paper towel. "Payment in pastries. House rules." He took a bite and groaned, groaned. "Marry me." I swatted his arm with the oven mitt. "Watch it, hotshot. I've got a rolling pin and I know how to use it." But my cheeks were on fire. He finished the roll in 2 bites, licked cinnamon off his thumb, and asked, "You bake like this every day?" "Only when the mood strikes. Or when the huckleberries are ripe." His eyes lit up like a kid on Christmas. "Best in Western Montana." "You doubting me?" "Never, ma'am. I mean Sonny." I should have let him leave then. Should have signed his work order and sent him on his way. But the sky was turning the color of a fresh bruise, and the first fat raindrops splattered the new glass. "Storm's early," he said, glancing up. "Mind if I wait it out on your porch? Don't want to drip all over your floors." "Porch swings dry. I'll bring coffee." I brewed a fresh pot, raised blend, dark roast with a pinch of chicory, and carried 2 mugs outside. Caleb had taken off his ball cap. His hair was damp from the mist, curling at the ends. He accepted the coffee with a nod of thanks. We sat in companionable silence, watching the rain drum on the tin roof. Lightning flickered over the mountains. "Ever miss it?" I asked. "Jumping fire?" "Some days. The rush, the crew, knowing you're the only thing between a town and a wall of flame." He sipped his coffee. "But off-season's nice. Lets me remember I've got a mom who still worries if I eat vegetables." I chuckled. "Moms don't retire from that job." "Your kid's local?" "Travis is in Bozeman, mechanic, married, 3 little hellions. Jolene teaches here in town. Grandbabies keep me in stickers and glitter glue." He smiled into his mug. "Bet you're the cool grandma." "Only 'cause I let him eat pie for breakfast." Thunder rolled. The swing creaked as we rocked. "You know," he said after a while, "most folks just want the door hung and me gone. You offered coffee and conversation. That's rare. Most folks haven't had my coffee, or your cinnamon rolls." The rain eased to a drizzle. He should have left. Instead he asked, "Those huckleberries grow yourself?" "Patch out back. Ray planted it the year Travis was born. Still produces like crazy." "Mind if I see?" I led him around the side of the house, past the clothesline where my apron flapped like a surrender flag. The huckleberry bushes were loaded, purple jewels hanging heavy. Caleb plucked one, popped it in his mouth, and closed his eyes. "Lord have mercy. Told you." He opened his eyes and looked at me, really looked like he was seeing past the flower on my apron and the silver in my braid. "You ever think life hands you second chances in the weirdest packages?" "Every damn day. I said before I could stop myself. He smiled slow. Good. The next Saturday, I was at the farmer's market, pies lined up like soldiers. Huckleberry, cherry, Montana rhubarb. Caleb showed up in civilian clothes, flannel shirt, jeans that fit just right, boots that had seen real dirt. He bought 2 huckleberry pies and asked if I needed help loading my folding table into the Subaru. Thought you were off-season, I teased. Got a standing invitation for pie. That was the start. He came by the following Wednesday to check the door in the cold. I fed him meatloaf and mashed potatoes. He fixed the loose hinge on my pantry door without being asked. By November, he was teaching me to cast a fly rod in the backyard, said every Montanan should know how to fish, even if the only water was the irrigation ditch. I hooked his ball cap on the 3rd try and laughed till my sides hurt. December brought snow and the first real test. Jolene stopped by unannounced, walked in on Caleb stringing Christmas lights along my porch railing while I handed him cocoa. Mom, her eyes went saucer wide. Who's this? Caleb Whitaker. He installed my storm door. And hung Christmas lights? And eats pie like it's his job, I said. Caleb wiped his hands on his jeans and offered one to Jolene.
Mom.
She shook it, but her smile was tighter than a banjo string. After he left, Jolene cornered me in the kitchen. Mom, he's my age. 31, I confirmed. I can count. Are you dating him? I poured her coffee to buy time. We're friends, with Christmas lights and fly fishing lessons. She set her mug down hard. People are talking.
Latching.
My door doesn't whistle anymore. Travis was easier. He met Caleb over chili and cornbread, sized him up, and declared, any man who can eat Mom's 5-alarm chili without crying gets my vote. But the real fireworks came in February. Caleb invited me to the Hotshot Winter fundraiser, spaghetti feed at the Elks Lodge. I wore my good red sweater and the pearl earrings Ray gave me for our 30th. Half the town was there. Mrs. Lindstrom nearly choked on her garlic bread when Caleb introduced me as my girl Sunny. Whispers followed us like smoke. That night in the parking lot, snow falling soft and thick, he kissed me for the first time, slow, certain, tasting like marinara and possibility. I was 63 years old, and my knees went weak as a newborn colt. Spring melted into summer. We fished the Clark Fork at dawn, picked huckleberries till our fingers were purple, grilled trout on his tailgate while the sun sank behind the mountains in a blaze of orange. He taught me to ride bitch on his dirt bike, wind in my hair, heart in my throat, laughing like a teenager. One August evening, fire season raging, Caleb got the call, mandatory deployment to the Idaho Panhandle. He showed up at my door at 2 a.m., duffel in hand, eyes tired but steady. Gotta go, Sonny. Could be 2 weeks. I wanted to beg him to stay, but I'd been a smoke jumper's wife once. Ray crewed for the Forest Service back in the 80s. I knew the deal. Instead, I handed him a Tupperware of huckleberry hand pies. For the line, don't let the Californians have them all. He kissed me hard, like he was memorizing the taste. Wait for me. Doors always open, hotshot. He was gone 14 days. I baked enough to supply the church bazaar, slept with the porch light on, and prayed to whatever saints watch over fools and firefighters. He came back sunburned, smelling like smoke and pine, with a scrape on his cheek and a grin that lit up my kitchen. Miss me? I answered by kissing the scrape, the grin, the smoke right off him. That's when I knew this wasn't a fling, a phase, a midlife crisis in Carhartts. This was real. Now, I need to pause and ask you something important. Have you ever let fear talk you out of something that felt like sunshine in your soul? If this story's hitting you where you live, drop a comment that says, I deserve the spark. Your words might be the match somebody else needs today. I read every single one, and sharing truth heals more than just you. Fall turned the cottonwoods gold. Caleb's mom, Darlene, invited me to Sunday dinner, pot roast, mashed potatoes, and the third degree disguised as small talk. She's a retired ICU nurse with a stare that could peel paint, but by the time I served huckleberry cobbler, she was calling me Han and asking for my crust recipe. October again. 1 year since the storm door. Caleb showed up with a 6-pack of moose drool and a proposition. Got a crazy idea, he said, leaning against my new doorframe. There's a piece of land for sale up the Rattlesnake. 10 acres, creek front, old cabin that needs love. Thought maybe we could fix it up together. You, me, the grandbabies, a couple dogs. Make it ours. I stared at him, flour on my hands from the biscuits. I was rolling. You want to build a life with a woman old enough to be your mama? He stepped close, brushed flour off my cheek with his thumb. I want to build a life with the woman who makes the best pie in Montana, who laughs when she hooks my hat instead of a trout, who isn't afraid to ride bitch on a dirt bike at 63. Age is just the mileage, Sonny. The engine's what matters. I kissed him then, tasting beer and future. But life don't hand you fairy tales without a few plot twists. 2 weeks later, Jolene called in tears. Travis's wife, Mandy, had been in a car wreck, rolled her SUV on black ice. She was in ICU. Travis beside himself with the kids. I dropped everything, drove to Bozeman through a blizzard, and stayed 3 weeks, cooking, cleaning, holding grandbabies while doctors talked about spinal injuries and rehab. Caleb showed up every weekend, snow on his boots, bringing groceries and quiet strength. He slept on the hospital couch when I couldn't, fixed Travis's busted snowblower, taught the twins to play gin rummy. One night, Mandy finally awake and stable, I found Caleb in the chapel, head bowed, ball cap in his hands. Praying. I whispered. Begging, he corrected. For her, for you, for whatever comes next. I sat beside him, took his hand. You know this is what it'll look like sometimes. Sick kids, broken bones, hospital coffee that tastes like regret. He squeezed my fingers. I jump fire for a living, Sonny. I'm not afraid of heat. Mandy came home in a wheelchair, but alive. Spring brought physical therapy and hope. And one Saturday in May, Caleb took me back to the Rattlesnake land. Wildflowers carpeted the meadow, the creek sang over rocks, and the old cabin waited like it had been holding its breath. He handed me a key on a red ribbon. Contingent offers in. If you want it. I turned the key over in my palm, heart thumping like a bass drum. What about the gossip? The side eyes? Your crew giving you hell? Let 'em talk. I've faced down 100-foot flame lengths. I can handle Mrs. Lindstrom. I laughed through sudden tears. You sure you want an old baker with bad knees and 5 grandkids who think fart jokes are high art? He dropped to one knee right there in the wildflowers, jeans in the dirt, ball cap backward, eyes shining. Suna Mae McAllister, I want all of it. The pies, the bad knees, the glitter glue on my Carhartts. I want mornings with your coffee and nights with your laugh. I want to grow old with you, starting right now. He pulled a ring from his pocket, simple white gold with a tiny huckleberry purple sapphire. Marry me, Sonny. Let's make the second half louder than the first. I yipped again, louder this time. The thick thing that sealed the gap? It wasn't weather stripping. It was love, sliding home after 63 years of wondering if the story was over. I said yes with my whole heart, kissed him till we were both breathless, and we danced right there in the meadow to a song only the creek could hear. We closed on the land in June. The cabin's getting new windows, a bigger kitchen for pie production, and a porch swing wide enough for 2. Wedding set for September, small, backyard, huckleberry cake, and all the grandbabies as ring bearers. Jolene's warming up. She even asked Caleb to walk her down the aisle when the time comes for her vow renewal. Travis calls him bro. Mrs. Lindstrom brought over a casserole and stayed for coffee. Last week, Caleb hung a new storm door on the cabin, same model as mine, because some things are worth repeating. When he pressed in the weather stripping, I yipped on purpose. He grinned, pulled me close, and whispered, "Told you it seals perfect." So yeah, at 63 I yipped. It was thick, it sealed the gap, and it changed everything. If this story lit a fire under your hope, hit subscribe. Drop your city in the comments. I'm sending Montana love from Missoula to wherever you are. And if you're waiting for a second chance, take it from an old baker who knows. The best pies and the best love come to those who leave the oven door open just a crack. Who knows what tomorrow brings? Maybe a new grandbaby, maybe a forest fire, maybe just another sunrise over the rattlesnake with a man who makes my heart yip like it's 25 again. But right now, the huckleberries are ripening, the creek's singing, and the porch swings waiting. See you on the next ride, sugar. Keep the faith, and keep the door open.